Hi, this is Kate Northrup. I'm the author of Money, A Love Story, and I am here with my mom, Dr. Christiane Northrup, because we're talking about her money love story today. As part of the launch of my book, what I wanted to do is ask some of the people that I know and love about their money love stories, because money is such a taboo topic, and I want people to talk about it in public in a loving, conscious way to inspire more people that they can have a loving, conscious relationship with money. So that's what we're doing here, and I would love to know, Mom. Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with my mom, her name's Dr. Christiane Northrup, and she wrote these books. Do you want to show them?
Yes, but this is part of my story.
Okay, well, we'll hold that.
Yeah.
That's a surprise for later.
Yeah.
She wrote Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, and The Wisdom of Menopause, and The Secret Pleasures of Menopause, and most recently, a really beautiful children's book called Beautiful Girl. And she's an OBGYN and the world's leading expert on women's health, etc. I want to know, Mom, what did you learn about money growing up, and what did you witness from your parents, and what did you absorb?
I witnessed stress around money. We always seemed to have enough, but my mother was kind of, I think, the money police, and my dad was the bon vivant. And he would do things like, we'd take off a whole summer and do an RV trip out west. And he'd figure, well, we better have a movie camera. And then he would get a movie camera.
Which is a really big deal in the 50s.
Well, yeah, it was.
I mean, that's not normal.
Huge. It was huge. He
I'm
was
sorry, you
very
just
much...
have a bug on your neck.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
removing that.
He was very into the flow of the universe, source, energy. So I sort of took after him.
Yeah.
But what I noticed, the big story was when Merv Lilly came over. He was the accountant at tax time. The house would go quiet, and you knew something bad was happening, because Marv Lilly was on the grounds, and So I learned we had money, and I think my dad's thing was that he could just go and make it. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a dentist, and he would go and he'd make money. And he also, I know that my mother would try to get it organized with accountant, and he didn't like it when someone told him, you can't go in to your safe in your office and just take out a handful of money. He's figured, I went through the war, I worked in a MASH unit, if I want a handful of cash, I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
So as you grew up and left home and went to medical school and started your own practice and got married, how do you think that the upbringing you had around money and kind of witnessing that dynamic between your parents affected how you behaved with money?
I was more my dad.
Yeah.
And I married my mother. Yeah. and so he was always trying to control it and budget it. And I was sort of budget. Like, that seems like the most take the life out of it word I could ever come up with. So here's so you're a baby. This is where it really came down. I kind of love this one frame. I've just had you, and we go into the brokers, and it's estate planning, and so we've had a second kid. And the guy is trying to show us what we need to put away so that we can then retire happily or with enough money. Now, my figure for what we needed to retire happily was way different than your dad's, and so was the path.
Yeah.
His path was very much, we can't spend anything now so that we can have a good life later.
Yeah.
And mine was very much, we're here, and money is the tool for which we're going to create a beautiful life.
Right.
So how is it that we're doing this budget thing, like, don't live now so you can live later? It never made sense to me, ever. And I think that was, we couldn't come to grips with that in any way. And then I wrote about the story.
Right.
And what I love is, she was 16 when we're going through a divorce. So this is the I'm the mother lode of where this thing came from, okay, where this whole story came from. So she's watching us, and she gets the idea. Oh, well, then what happened? Okay. Then I write this. Okay, so this is me then. I write this, The Wisdom of Menopause, which is sort of my divorce story and how I got clear about money. Old version, don't buy this one. The one you want is third version, buy this one.
But look at
fully
the difference.
Updated. Okay, yeah.
Before and after falling in love with your money.
That's
before, it. Oh, wait. Before after.
And
it
after.
looks better when you're in love with your money.
That's correct.
And yourself.
That is correct.
Okay.
So then, after this came out, I had the biggest career success of my whole life, like massive royalty checks on this one. It was a perfect, wonderful storm of being on Oprah when it was still in hardcover, and she liked the book. So that's how I got The Driveway. But
and paid for college.
And paid for
Thank
your
you.
colleges and all of that. So what I got serious about my money, and Robert Kiyosaki was the one that turned my head around, and then I met Susie Orman in the green room. And you, meanwhile, are thinking, okay, you can have love or you can have money, because then you saw me really getting prosperous. It's like, no one's going to give me a budget anymore.
Yeah.
And that, that's not balanced either.
Right.
But I did learn what cash flow looked like. I get a weekly cash flow statement from my bookkeeper. I learned that you need a financial team.
So I want to know,
Yeah.
what is the best money advice that you've ever been given, or the best money advice that you could give?
Best money advice that I've ever been given. I have to say Susie Orman gave me some really great advice. She said the only thing that keeps money from coming to people is anger or fear. And that was pretty...
That's why it's money a love story.
A love story. So I had to get over being terrified. And then the other money advice came from Catherine Ponder, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And I'll never forget it. I was at a place after the divorce where I literally had my plumber go back to the dump and get a faucet that I had him take over there, because I got a new faucet, but it cost $350 and that was too much. I said, replace it with the old faucet, I'll get by. And I'm terrified. And I'm on my elliptical trainer over there, and I'm doing the Catherine Ponder money affirmations. And the one that really stuck with me is, divine radiant substance cannot be withheld from me. And divine radiant substance is the only reality in my financial life now. I am divine radiant substance. I am connected with divine radiant substance, and divine radiant substance manifests for me now in tremendous abundance.
So really tapping into the universal energy, not just the practical, what the economy is doing, what people think is possible. Like, all of those things are really insignificant because we just made money up. It's just...
It's true.
We just
it's
made
true.
it up. So you can get more anytime.
Yeah, but
by
we've been really...
tapping into divine radiant substance and into your ability to create a lot of value for other people, which is what you've done, which is why you've done well and will continue to do so. I'd love to know, as a last question, because none of us is ever perfect with money and we're always on a journey, what's the next frontier, or kind of what's your growth edge right now when it comes to your money?
Oh, my growth edge is in the next iteration of a new business that I'm launching, to be extremely cognizant of what to do with the money, what to do with my time. See, I know the money's going to be there and more than I've ever had. I know that. And the beauty is that I've been, in the last 2 years when things have been not good with money. I mean, if you looked at the books, they're scary, because that's also normal from time to time.
Especially when you're running a business.
That's right. That's right. You have these times, and I learned from Robert Kiyosaki,
there's contraction.
everyone's got money problems.
Yep.
There are times when everyone, okay, I would say, and I learned this from you, I had shame that my business had gotten to where it was. I really had shame. And then when you told me about your process with shame about money, and I listened to Brene Brown and read Daring Greatly.
Such a great book.
Then I said, yeah, hey, I could get financially naked with, just about anybody.
Yeah.
And
That's
have.
really amazing. And of course, as a result, things are beginning to grow in a beautiful way, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's when we can tell the truth and be in that vulnerable place without throwing ourselves under the bus, because there's a balance there, that it creates a lot of power, actually.
Well, it does. And there've been a huge shift in the publishing industry.
Yes.
So there was a time when what happened with this book really doesn't happen anymore.
Pretty much not.
It doesn't happen anymore. It's a whole different world.
It's a different
and
world,
so I had to change with that different world and begin to have other income streams and think about
Yeah.
how could I create value in the new
model.
in the new model.
Which is when you are really the one creating value, not waiting for somebody else to step in and saying, I choose you. It's like you choose you.
Yes, that's actually the next challenge, is to really own it. That I have this stuff to value. No one else is going to make it happen for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen for me.
That's
and
great.
the right vehicles will come. Oh, and one more, and this is really important. I really know how to make money putting my nose to the grindstone. I'm an
this is
OBGYN physician, surgeon. I have been trained that if you want to make money, well, actually I never worked for money. I didn't have enough time to even put my paychecks in the bank. That's how busy a lot of my life was. So I know the old model, which is killing yourself to make a living, killing yourself, being on call, being dead tired, pushing, going back to the whatever it took, balls to the walls. I'm your person.
You don't have to do that
I'm
anymore.
not doing that
Right.
anymore. I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm working with a team right now
Great.
where a couple of them don't understand that model.
You'll teach them.
I'll teach them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ease,
Ease.
flow, pleasure, joy
That's it.
around making money
Yeah.
and allowing it to feel good.
And if it isn't fun, and if it isn't sustainable,
Don't do it.
I'm not doing it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And anyone can incorporate that. So thank you so much for sharing your money love story. If you want to know more about my mom, go to drnorthrup.com.
I wrote the foreword,
And
too.
she also wrote this amazing foreword, which is just really touching and beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to know more about this book, go to moneyalovestory.com. You can find other money love stories there. And also, when you sign up to buy the book, or just not sign up to buy the book, when you buy the book, you'll get access to a free online event I'm doing called A Course in Having Enough. And I have guest teachers Marianne Williamson, Barbara Stanny, and Amanda Steinberg, who founded dailyworth.com, joining me for that. And you get it for free when you buy the book at moneyalovestory.com. So thank you, Mom. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for everything. Without you, none of this would have happened.
Thank you. Thank you, honey.